It was a cold and starry night in Bethlehem. A very special thing indeed was to unfold. Even wise and kings.
Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I have a guest today that I know pretty well, Pastor John Lestock. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you, Bobby.
And
Good to
the
be here.
reason I've asked you here today is because you have developed a music ministry at Bethel that I'm very proud of. And I just want to ask you how you managed to do that and what on earth inspired you to add these music events?
Well, number one, I'm not sure really what I've done, but I will say this is I just think music speaks to the hearts of people, sometimes much more than the spoken word. And so I think some of the performers or musicians or artists that we've been able to invite and have at Bethel really, have been speaking to the soul, speaking to the heart. So that's my hope. And,
I would agree. And I just love attending the concerts at both churches. And I know we recently advertised another concert on this show. And I do want to talk about the special group that's coming, the Steele family. And I believe it's Saturday, November 29th. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So that will be Thanksgiving weekend. And actually, this will be the second year that we've invited the Steeles to be with us. They were with us last year for the very first time as a family, all five of them, Fred, J.D., Billy, Javetta, and then Geraldine as well.
Yes.
And they're backed by popular demand. People just loved it. And this year, they'll also be bringing a band with them. So it'll be Billy on the piano, but there'll also be bass, drums, guitar, and probably a sax player as well, which just gives them more possibilities of things they can do. And it'll be a holiday concert.
And a lot of us are here that weekend. And I think that's a perfect time. And I love their music. Could you tell us about the special ministry of their family? Do they do a lot of this?
They do, and they do a lot of everything. As you may know, Geraldine has a radio program on WCCO radio. That
Yes.
sounds like you're
I am a listener.
steady listener.
You're right.
She often does the Prairie Home Companion show with Garrison Keillor. In fact, she was in the movie that they did a few years ago with Meryl Streep.
Oh, yes,
and,
I
Woody
saw
Harrelson
that.
and a number of other folks. So both she and Javetta are on there as special guests quite often. But I would say, even aside from their own careers, they have backed up or sang along with just a boatload of people. Prince, they've sung background for. Mahalia Jackson years ago.
Oh, my.
Kim Carnes, the Blind Boys of Alabama. Mavis Staples, who is another legendary voice. George Clinton, Donald Fagen from the old band Steely Dan. And then, as you may know, they've also done Broadway. They did a Broadway play, musical, a number of years ago called The Gospel of Colonus, and they were the principal voices there. They've appeared on soundtracks for a number of movies, a number of films. So it's just a wealth of talent. And the good news is they're right here. They'll be right here in our own backyard. So we're excited about that.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm impressed with them as a music instructor formerly. I am so impressed with their music and their degree of technical brilliance. I could speak to Billy. I think he's the accompanist. But also their voices are so endearing and so lovely to listen to. And I guess I would think they do a lot of religious music, like gospel, but they don't do that exclusively, do they?
Right.
Probably
You
a
know,
lot of different styles.
I would say this, each of the Steeles are people of faith. There's no doubt about that. And their roots really go back to black gospel. But, you know, once again, just thinking about the variety of people that I've just mentioned, you know, some of them are coming from faith-based backgrounds. But yeah, I mean, they perform with a number of people in a number of different settings. So, you know, as we do this concert, as I say, it will be a holiday concert. It really will focus on, you know, songs of the holiday, but they won't be exclusively Christian, or they won't be exclusively, Christ-centered. I mean, they'll cover a whole spectrum, a whole variety of things.
So are you saying it's going to be an introduction to Christmas music too?
Yeah, that'll be
Oh,
kind of a great way to kick
great.
things off. And last year, I mean, after they performed, there were so many people that said, what a great way to usher in the season of Advent and then later Christmas. So it was very
Exactly.
festive. We had a full house last year, and I think we'll have as many, if not more.
Yes, and I do know the concert's going to be at the Highlands location or the Highlands campus, and it's very close to the freeway.
Yeah, it is. And here's the other thing, Bobby, is the Steels will play a number of places around the Twin Cities, usually for quite a bit more than what we're charging. We're asking
Really?
$20 a ticket. Most places are charging anywhere from $35 to $50. So it's a bargain, and
It is.
there's not a bad seat in the house. That's the
It
other thing.
is. To get a concert for $20 is very commendable.
You might say a world-class concert.
Well, it is. It really is. And then when you look at a family of that many members, if you divide that up, it's really a bargain, I have to tell you.
And we'll go $10 on students as well. So,
Oh, good. Good.
$20 for adults, and then $10 for students.
All
So
right.
very affordable, and that's really the reason we did it. We don't make any money on this. This really is just an opportunity to provide, family entertainment that's affordable for people.
Right. And it would be really nice to have people see our new campus out there and the beauty of the location of that campus. Because many people say to me, well, I saw the cross first.
Yeah.
And I wondered what it was. And I was so proud to say, well, that is the Bethel Highlands. Because it's just beautiful at night
Yeah.
when
You
you're
know-
coming around there.
And it's funny, there's a number of people that show up there that say that same thing. As we were on the highway, we saw the cross, we pulled in, just wanted to see what was here, and
Yes.
so
It's
that's
very
exciting.
impressive.
It must be a
Oh,
God
my.
thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It really drew me because I didn't realize at first when I was coming up the 35 from River Falls, I didn't know that that was so evident until I was driving that road one night, and I was like, that is Bethel Highlands. And how beautifully that fits into the terrain and the beautiful, well, it is a bit of a hill. And I just am delighted that we have that campus now. Because it was kind of interesting for a few years, but I just absolutely love the campus.
It's a great asset, and
It is.
again, we have, as people may know, we are one congregation with two locations. We need both locations. Both locations,
Definitely.
have a very strong influence and a very strong presence. But
Exactly.
there's things that we can do at the Highlands that we can't do downtown. There's things we can do downtown we can't do at the Highlands.
Well, exactly, and there's a special kind of service that goes on up there. We could say with our new song band,
Yeah.
and then we have a preschool and a school there. And there are many events that are really too largely attended for the downtown.
Yeah, certainly.
So
true.
that works out extremely well. And plus we have that large overflow. And I know one thing I have to mention, the Bethel Food Fest, because that's coming up.
It is.
Third weekend of October. And I have to tell you, the ladies love it because we have quality kitchen. Everything is just perfect up there. And I like to be there myself when I'm working at that food fest because we were so crowded before in the downtown.
Yeah.
So, but let's get back to the music. Are you into gospel yourself? You're kind of a bluegrass guy.
I like everything. I like all sorts of music. So I like gospel.
I do
very much
too.
so. And once again, I mean, the Steels have such dynamic voices and such a great mix
Oh
as they
my
all sing together. Well, and obviously, I mean, they are brothers and sisters, so they've been doing this for a
Well,
lifetime.
yeah.
And there is something about the human voice singing together with a relative.
Oh yes, you've hit it. You've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
Because there's no problem with blending.
Yeah.
They have that same production mechanism. And I have to say, they're such outstanding singers.
Yeah, they really are.
And the gospel style of singing really speaks to me because it's such a joy to hear the message. And not only that, but the way they produce their voices is perfect for gospel music. And that family has just a gorgeous tone, gorgeous sound. We're going to play some of the music probably before this interview so people can hear a little bit. And I just have to talk about that a little bit. So I would say it's pretty exclusively gospel. Maybe they might take like a Christmas carol, but they'll put their own little touch on it.
Yeah. Many of the tunes that they'll do will be recognizable. I mean,
Yes.
they're
Yes.
standards or favorites, but yeah, they will do some different things too. And as you say, with a little different twist sometimes. And then with the 5-part harmony, you can't beat that.
You can't. And I just
And they have quite a stage presence too. That's the other thing. It's not just the singing.
they are performers.
They're performers, and they're also very genuine. I guess that's the other quality that strikes me about really every one of them. And I think a lot of that has to do with, this is more than a job for them. It's a calling. It's a, it's a not just a vocation, but
Right, and I'm just really impressed that we've had them. We actually have them for several other services during the year. Do you want to mention that?
We do. Geraldine has been with us the last couple years for Martin Luther King Jr. celebration.
Oh, yes.
And then along with her, she brings her brother Billy at the piano. Yes. And Billy, as you may know, is a 3-time Grammy winner just on the piano alone. So,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Each one of these steels, has a career separately as well as with the larger family.
Right.
Which is cool. So when I'll try to get a hold of them on the phone, I mean, it's not unusual to hear somebody say, "Well, Billy's in France right now," or or Geraldine's in in the Orient. So they really are. They're all over the world, not just this country. So.
Yes, I totally get that. But I have to say, the quality of the music would bring me in. But also now, would you say that Martin Luther King Day would be going on in January sometime?
Yeah.
The end of January.
Well, that's always, I believe, the third weekend of January.
Right.
And then again this year, Geraldine and Billy will be back again to share with us. And again, that's by popular demand. We had her 2 years ago, and people just raved about it and wanted to continue that tradition. So we'll do that for a while now.
And I have to say, her voice and their voices more than fill up that church.
They do. Well, and then we brought the Bethel Chorale to sing along with them as well. We'll do that again this year.
That's going to be very exciting for us because we have a couple pieces we're going to be learning.
Great.
And would you say we're kind of the backup singers?
Well, I don't know about that. I would say you're an important part of the music. How's that? Everybody plays their role.
Well, true. So. But, I'm excited even if it is backup because just to sing with those voices, it's very, very special to be able to be with those people. So I'm very excited about that. Now, there's one request you've been making about this concert is you'd like to have people bring non-perishable food. Would you tell me about that?
Yeah. Again, as I say, we do believe that the ticket price is very affordable for families. So we don't feel like this, hopefully will not break anybody. But along with that, as people come along with their ticket, and our hope is that it will sell out, so you do want to have a ticket in advance. There may be tickets at the door, but last year we were really down to, you could count the number of tickets left on 2 hands.
Really?
So yeah, the people would want to get their tickets in advance on this. But our hope is that people will bring some sort of a food food item to give to the food shelf.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, especially over the holidays, so that we're remembering people that are obviously perhaps a little less fortunate.
Yes, and the things I've been hearing the last few months is that the Hudson food shelf is down, and we really do need to support that.
Yeah.
So I hope that, everybody's asked to do it, and I'm sure you will have a good response. I'm just positive.
Yeah, we hope so.
Now, what would happen? Would it ever sell out?
Very possibly.
It could.
Very possibly. See, here's what we've been doing, Bobby. We, the Highlands will hold a little bit over 500 people, but as you say, some of that is in the overflow. So we really would choose to sell about somewhere between 350 to 400 tickets, which would be in the sanctuary. And as I mentioned, there's not really a bad seat in the house there. So that way everybody will, feel like they're a part of what's going on. We'd prefer not to sell anything for out in the narthex there. So it is certainly possible that we'd sell out. And last year, we had people not just coming from Hudson or even the St. Croix River Valley, we had people coming from all across the cities. And I think two things. I think number one, it just shows that the Steels are that kind of a draw. And then number two, and our ticket prices were much more reasonable than some others. Again, it's not unusual for the Steels to play someplace like the Guthrie, and that's $50 plus ticket-wise. So.
Well, and if you were going to a concert, you'd be paying so much more.
A lot more.
So I'm glad you've kept it very reasonable.
Parking is free here. And
yes,
it's a fun crowd to be a part of.
And by the way, this show goes all the way to Madison on the different cable channels.
Oh, great.
So we could get people coming from Wisconsin,
We'd
too.
love to have them
Wouldn't
come
that
from
be
that
wonderful?
side of the river. Yeah.
That would be just wonderful. Now, I think they would need to know where to contact someone to get tickets. So what would you suggest for that?
I would suggest calling Bethel office, which sometimes serves as our box office as well.
Yes, true.
And, we will reserve tickets. Also, you can go to our website, and we've been doing tickets through the Bethel website.
Right. And we can put that up. Is that BethelLutheranChurch.org?
Yeah, BethelHudson.org.
BethelHudson.org. I had that wrong. We'll put that up. I think we could add a phone number too.
I think we could.
And that would
And I
be,
believe it's going to be 715
yes.
386 8821. Is that what you've got there?
Yes, that's
Good.
what I have. That's the number I'm used to.
All right, great.
I don't think we said what time.
It's going to be 7 o'clock, and once again, this is a Saturday night. So Saturday night, the 29th of November.
Right.
We're at 7 o'clock. You'd want to get there a little bit early to get a good seat. You'd want to hopefully purchase your ticket in advance. And it's just going to be a rip-roaring time.
And say somebody is a ways into Wisconsin, can they just pick it up that night? Or is that kind of difficult?
That's feasible. I think it'd be wise to call the church prior to that just to make sure that we haven't sold out. I mean, it would be tragic to have somebody drive a distance from all the way from Madison and then not get in, although I'm sure we'd figure something out.
Well, yeah. And, I would have to say I just had the Chamber of Commerce gal on a month ago. And the wonderful facilities around Hudson and all the hotels, motels, bed and breakfast. So, contact the chamber if you're interested in a room somewhere too.
Sure.
In fact, there's so many great places to stay, and let's say you're going out for the evening. There's a lot of places that they can stop in and have a good meal too.
Plenty of places here.
Plenty of places.
Just having moved here 2 years ago, a number of our friends come to visit, and they love Hudson. They just
good.
love coming in.
Great.
So whether it's the shopping, whether it's staying overnight, whether it's coming to church, whatever it would be.
Exactly. So, and as far as music ministry, I think this is just an excellent way to reach out.
It is.
I'm very, very happy you're doing this. Now, is this the actual concert that the chorale's going to sing at?
Yeah, or at least it's our hope that they will.
Because I was thinking they were going to be at a service too soon, but that'll be later.
That wouldn't be until January.
Right.
But our hope is that we'll
Oh
get the
my
choir.
goodness. Well, then we better start working on that music.
Yeah, you better.
We're about a month out, aren't we? Barely. No, we've got a little time because this will start showing next Friday, so it'll be October 2nd. You may be hearing this about on the 2nd or 3rd. I believe it's the 3rd. So,
well, when it comes to the holidays, I think people make plans in advance. So I don't think this is too early at all to start
I don't either.
talking it up.
I really don't. I think we've given you a lot of warning. If you see this the first week of October, you got plenty of time
That's
to
right.
get in. So now, that's kind of all I had to say about that concert. Did you want to add anything?
Once again, this is Saturday night, the 29th of November. It's going to be a great way to kick off the holiday season, or you might say Advent. And as we've said, ticket prices are $20, which we think is very affordable and really quite a steal. It will be more than just the 5 steels singing. It will also be the full band behind them as well, which I think will add something more from what we've had last year. And as you mentioned, Bobby, just we're asking people to also just bring something to donate to the food shelf here in town.
Yes, very much needed, and what a great way to kick off the holidays and to do your contribution and so on.
Sure.
And I have to say, it's going to be very inspiring. A very inspiring concert, and I think a lot of us need that kind of inspiration. I love what you said about the music, because it is for the soul. It does touch us. I am very touched even when I'm listening to things that aren't live. But then to be there at a live
Sure.
performance and see these professionals, it's absolutely wonderful. So thank you for bringing that to Hudson.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
And you know what? We would like to advertise those things on this show more. I just started that a couple months ago, where I would make suggestions and along with my regular interviews. I'm very happy to have you here, so thank you for coming.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you so much for spreading the great news of this musical event, and I hope to see a lot of you at the concert. I know I'll be there. And if you have any questions, check things out on the website, and we will definitely inform you about more things as far as every way you can get a ticket. And don't wait too long, because like Pastor John said, you don't want to be the one that doesn't get into the concert. So thank you for watching today, and I appreciate that.
It was a cold and starry night in Bethlehem. A very special thing indeed was to unfold. Even wise and kings and shepherds knew. They came from far away to see if it was true.
He was born.
He was born into this world, they said.